Good morning everyone and welcome to Australia Day 2023. My name is Abby Rouse and I'll be your MC for this morning's official ceremony. It's my pleasure to invite Councillor Lewis Burns to deliver a welcome to country this morning.
Good morning everyone. For those that don't know me, my name's Lewis Burns. I'm a traditional owner here and I was born out on the Dubbo Reserve, or when I was born I lived there. It's on my birth certificate. Anyway, I'm always given the honour, I'm given an honour, and it's always an honour and a pleasure to welcome people from off country, and I know there's a lot of people from off country today, so it really matters to do the welcome. So without further ado, through the mother Makatan Nadyang Maranyanyani Naramang, Tabagawaradri, Wilaywaradri, Mangawaradri. It simply means on behalf of the Tabaga people of the Wiradjuri Nation, we welcome you onto Dubbo, especially all the new citizens that'll be getting their citizenship today. So welcome everybody. We hope we have a great morning. And don't forget, the shops are here selling stuff.
Thank you, Lewis. I'd like to ask you all to be upstanding and join in the singing of the national anthem whilst the Australian and Aboriginal flags are being raised. This morning the anthem will be performed by Elisa Burden. Accompanying her will be the Dubbo District Concert Band.
Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
I'd like to now introduce to you the members of the official party seated here this morning. We have Mayor of the Dubbo Region, Councillor Matthew Dickerson. We have Councillors Josh Black, Damien Mann, Lewis Byrne, Shibli Chowdhury, Matt Wright, Pam Wells and Vicky Etheridge. We have Council's Chief Executive Officer Murray Wood. We have the State Member for Dubbo, Dougal Saunders MP. Our 2023 Australia Day Ambassador David Hall. We have former councillors joining us, Greg Matthews, Tina Reynolds, Richard Mutton, Paul Loxley, Barry Brebner, Doug Butcherine, Evan Elliott, Anne-Marie Jones, OAM, Alan Smith and Jane Diffie. We also have Commander, Arana Midwestern Police District, Superintendent Denny Sullivan, APM. We have a New South Wales VRA representative, Guy Sadler, our national anthem singer, Elisa Burden, and Australia Day Committee members, Tom Gray, Bill Greenwood, Rhonda Bramble, Mike Herbert, Derek Edwards and Jennifer O'Connor. I would now call upon the Mayor, Councillor Matthew Dickerson, to officially welcome you to Australia Day 2023.
"We'll all be ruined," said Hanrahan, in accents most forlorn. Outside the church, ere Mass began, one frosty Sunday morn. The congregation stood about, coat collars to the ears, and talked of stock and crops and drought, as it had done for years. "It's looking crook," said Daniel Croak, Bedad, it's crook, me lad, for never since the banks went broke has seasons been so bad. It's dry all right, said young O'Neill, with which astute remark he squatted down upon his heel and chewed a piece of bark. And so around the chorus ran, it's keeping dry, no doubt. We'll all be ruined, said Hanrahan, before the year is out. The crops are done. You'll have your work to save one bag of grain. From here way out to Backerburg, they're singing out for rain. They're singing out for rain, he said, and all the tanks are dry. The congregation scratched its head and gazed around the sky. There won't be grass in any case, enough to feed an ass. There's not a blade on Casey's place as I came down to Mass. If rain don't come this month, said Dan, and cleared his throat to speak. We'll all be ruined, said Hanrahan, if rain don't come this week. A heavy silence seemed to steal on all at this remark, and each man squatted on his heel and chewed a piece of bark. We want an inch of rain, we do, O'Neill observed at last, but Croak maintained we wanted 2 to put the danger past. If we don't get 3 inches, man, or 4 to break this drought, we'll all be ruined, said Hanrahan, before the year is out. In God's good time down came the rain, and all the afternoon, on iron roof and window pane, it drummed a homely tune, and through the night it pattered still, and lightsome, gladsome elves, on dripping spout and window sill, kept talking to themselves. It pelted all day long, a-singing at its work, till every heart took up the song way out to Backerburg. And every creek a banker ran, and dams filled over top. We'll all be ruined, said Hanrahan, if this rain doesn't stop. And stop it did, in God's good time, and spring came in to fold a mantle o'er the hills sublime of green and pink and gold. And days went by on dancing feet with harvest hopes immense, and laughing eyes beheld the wheat nodding o'er the fence. And oh, the smiles on every face as happy lad and lass through grass knee-deep on Casey's place went riding down to Mass. While round the church, enclosed genteel, discoursed the men of mark, and each man squatted on his heel and chewed his piece of bark. There'll be bushfires for sure, me man, there will without a doubt. We'll all be ruined, said Hanrahan, before the year is out. Yeah, thank you. Now, that famous poem, said Hanrahan, written by John O'Brien, was written in 1919, 104 years ago, but it could well have been written just over this last time frame, because we've had drought, we've had floods, we've had bushfires, but if you're writing it today, you'd probably add a couple of extra stanzas. We've had mice plagues and we've had pandemics, so you could probably extend that poem now. But what's great about that poem, and it is a very pessimistic poem from Hanrahan, but it's the complete opposite, and that's where John O'Brien was coming from when he wrote that. That was the complete opposite of what we've got in Australia. We have got such an optimistic attitude and such a can-do attitude that things like bushfires, drought, flood, pandemic, mice plagues, we take in our stride and we just keep going forward. And one of the things that people see from around the world about Australia is it's a very laid-back, casual attitude. It's a bit of a she'll be right, mate attitude. But that attitude is a very deep-rooted attitude to making things an optimistic view or getting things done with an optimistic view. So despite all these problems, despite all the adversity, we seem to just keep soldiering on. And every time we talk to people, it's always this optimistic view. So when I talk to people from around the world about what a great nation we live in and what great people we have in this nation, one of the things that I do talk about is that everyone seems like they've got this great positive attitude and this great looking forward future. Now, when we talk about the future, one of the things that I get very excited about is the melting pot that we're creating in this nation, and in particular in the Dubbo Regional Council local government area. We've got Lewis Burns, who you heard give a welcome to country, is going to give an Aboriginal elder address later on this morning, and the 60,000 years of history of Aboriginal descendancy here in this nation, here in this particular region. So that's significant. That's significant around the world. But then you add to that the 48 people we're going to welcome into our country today, the new citizens we're going to welcome. And one of the things that I think is magnificent about this country is we don't care if you've got 60,000 years of history or 60,000 seconds of history. We welcome everyone to this great nation. So it is an exciting day to be Australian. It's an exciting day to be proud of what we have here in this nation. So as we go about our day today, and in fact every day, what I ask of all the citizens of the Dubbo Regional Council area is just remember what a wonderful nation this is and just be very proud to be an Australian, which I know everyone is. So have an absolutely wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for coming along. It's great to see a huge crowd here. Thank you for coming along and have a fantastic day. Thank you. The next thing I do is like to welcome our ambassador for the day, and we've got David Hall, OAM, sitting here at the moment. And just very briefly, David will tell his story, but just very briefly, I think it's fair to say that David broke new ground for wheelchair tennis and wheelchair tennis players in this nation. David was the first world number one from Australia, so straight away that's breaking new ground. He spent almost 10 years as world number one in wheelchair tennis. That's pretty impressive. But just to add to that, he's also got a Paralympic gold medal. Either of those two achievements would be significant on their own. To have both of those achievements is fantastic. But when you look at people like the Australian of the Year last year, Dylan Alcott, I think it's fair to say that people like Dylan would not have been able to achieve what they achieved without David breaking the ground for making wheelchair tennis something that was on the horizon for Australians. So I think David's got a very special place in Australian sporting history. But again, enough from me. I want to hear what David's got to say. So please make David Hall welcome as our ambassador for the day. Thank you, David.
Thank you, everybody. It is fantastic to be here. Distinguished guests, my fellow Australians, it is my great pleasure to be here as your Australia Day ambassador, and I would like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of this land, the Wiradjuri people. The 26th of January, what does this day mean? Through over more than 200 years of debate and controversy, this day has marked the Australian National Day since that date way back in 1788 when formal possession was taken of the colony of New South Wales. So what does it mean to be an Australian? Well, it means something different to everybody. Everybody has their own story and history, and we should respect the view that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders regard this day as a day of mourning, of survival. But it is also a day to come together and instill the values that we share as an Australian community, such as the value of helping our fellow citizens through their adversity, which unites us and utilises our greatest strength, the power of community spirit. It confirms that we are, in the long run, part of a family that just happens to have over 26 million members. Now today means to never forget or take for granted our freedom, which comes at a heavy price to those who have fallen before us. We are a nation of people that will work hard, but we also know how to play. We love our barbecues. We love chatting with our neighbours over the back fence. We love meeting our friends down at the park so that our children can play. We are a social nation. We love our food, enjoying everything from chicken schnitzels to meat pies to Chico rolls to custard tarts to lamingtons. And this is all making me pretty hungry, I have to say. Now, when the music group Men at Work sang the famous line about the Vegemite sandwich, tourists have been fascinated, and you could honestly say some repulsed, by our national breakfast spread. We love the arts. We've enjoyed iconic movies such as Gallipoli and Mad Max, and the music of In Excess, Midnight Oil, and Slim Dusty. Now, it goes without saying, as a nation, we are sports crazy. And on the local front here in Dubbo, there are so many chances to play the sports that we enjoy. You can get fit on the water, paddling with the Outback Dragons. You can visit the sand traps at Dubbo Golf Club, or even give ultimate frisbee a run down at South Dubbo Oval. Now, for me, I had the pleasure of travelling the world for 15 years as a professional wheelchair tennis player. Now, the wheelchair tour, well, it was like a travelling circus, going from one town to the next. Now, you could say that tennis is primarily an individual sport, but there were times when we had the chance to technically represent Australia at the World Team Cup or the Paralympics. Now, I won gold at the Sydney Paralympics in 2000, and I've never felt more proud being an Australian when I was on top of the medal dais with the flag being raised as our national anthem was sung. Now, as much as I enjoyed playing on the tour, meeting new people, eating different foods and visiting airports, hotels and tennis courts all over the world, I soon realised that we do live in the lucky country. Now, Dubbo has an interesting history. The settlement was gazetted as a village in 1849, and land sales grew due to the gold rush trade through the 1870s, which brought the population to around 850 residents. Now, there was a general store ran by a Frenchman and a hotel operated by a Belgian. And by 1881, the railway line had been built between Wellington and Dubbo, and the town boasted 29 hotels and 3 breweries. Now, 142 years later, in 2023, Dubbo and its surrounding towns has a population of around 55,000, with big industry being an economic driver, such as the regional livestock markets with more than 1 million sheep and 200,000 cattle sold each year, and the Western Plains Zoo with over 300,000 visitors each year. There are walking trails, museums, the old jail, the art gallery and the botanic gardens to visit, plus plenty of shopping districts to scratch that retail itch. But whether we live here in the country or on the coast, as a nation, we are bound by a common thread that today is a day to spend with our fellow citizens, our family, and our friends. It is a day to think about our future and acknowledge that community spirit, to reflect on our journey and our achievements. It's a time to think about what makes our country unique and to embrace that. Thank you, everybody. It's great to be here, and have a fantastic Australia Day.
Thank you, David. And David, you've talked up the region so well. I think you'll be moving out here soon. Leave that Sydney metropolis and come out here to a regional area. But as a token of appreciation, we've got a small hamper here with some local gifts, so that'll give you something to chew on while you're driving back home to Sydney. And just remember us by, and obviously the ambassador pin, the Australia Day ambassador pin. So thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your thought you've put into what you've just talked to us about. So now we're adding a new address to our Australia Day ceremony this year, and this is something that started from our Australia Day last year. Lewis Burns gave the Welcome to Country. Lewis was elected to council at the end of 2021 and gave our Welcome to Country, and talked a lot about unity, talked a lot about the fact that he stood on an election platform of unity and wanted to work out ways we could bring the community together. A lot of the councillors and our senior staff and even our police went across after the ceremony last year to a Survival Day event that was held at Sir Roden Cutler Park. And we started some discussions throughout the year about how we could bring together and make this ceremony one ceremony for all Australians, no matter what their background or history. And we made some small subtle changes, and one of those changes is that we've added an additional address to this. So normally at this ceremony we'd have the Mayor of the Day speak, we'd have an ambassador come along, and then we'd move into our awards. But we're adding an address by an Aboriginal elder this year, Lewis Burns, who's going to give us an address from an Aboriginal perspective, again just to give some of that context of the 60,000 years that Aboriginal people have been in this nation. So please make Lewis welcome to the stage for the second time for an Aboriginal elder address. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've already introduced myself, and I've been asked to give an address here today, and I think it's appropriate because as a traditional owner and someone that come from the Aboriginal Reserve, which was, I think it was set up in 1898, and if you don't know where it is, when you're driving out of Dubbo towards Brocklehurst, before you reach the bridge on Talbragar River, the land on the left and to the south of the Troy Bridge is all Troy and Talbragar reserves. Now, it's easy to get onto the land. Anyone can go on and have a look around, but you got to maintain. You got to do the right thing while you're on there. So it took us a while to get motorbikes off that country, and it was a favourite place for a lot of the motorbikes to be going. So now we ended up stopping that 10 years ago. But I want to talk a bit about the history of Dubbo, and I know it was mentioned that Dubbo was founded in 1849, and we've got a photo, and we meaning the traditional owners, of our my great-great-great-grandmother sitting with Banjo Patterson as a 3-year-old, and she's holding on to him so he doesn't fall off the chair. So she was his Aboriginal nanny, and that was taken in Yeovil. That would have been about 1860. So she was born before Dubbo was Dubbo, but it says she was born in Dubbo. But so it's interesting to see some of the historic stuff when you do some of the research. So it's good to know that we're still on country, and it's good to know that we've still got people living on country that want to protect and preserve our culture, which is very important, because I don't know if many of you know, I'm a didgeridoo player, and I talk about cultural heritage, and I get invited all over the world to talk and present our culture. So I've represented Australia 1,000 times in the last 20 years, and I'm on my 3rd passport. But it really is interesting when Aboriginal people leave Australia, they sort of feel that they get a little bit more respect for their cultural ways. And I actually agree with that. We get a lot more respect when we leave the country. And that's something that we want to change, because there is division. There's division between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. And I want to say, I've noticed over the last 10 years, and this is an interesting fact, but racism towards Aboriginal people has actually dropped in the last 10 years, because there's a lot more people of colour living in the town, and people don't know whether you're Aboriginal or not before they serve you or deal with you. And I have noticed racism dropped because of the amount of coloured people in town. I wanted to say that. I want everyone to know that, because it's really a choice, racism. And all we got to do to eliminate it is to say hello to each other. And I don't see that. And that's the reason why I have the festival that I had back in 2018. I called it the Spirit of the Planet, and we brought Indigenous people from their cultural lands, practicing their culture, to Dubbo, and we made it free for everyone to enter, and they could come in and mingle with those people. And we had Aztecs, we had Cree from Canada. The Aztecs were from Mexico City, Cree from Canada. We had Navajo from Arizona. We had the Malaysian group, I forgot what they called, Sarawak I think it was, but we had a lot of groups. Zimbabwe, Marimba Band. They were all there presenting their culture, talking about their ways and sharing that with everybody, and then doing performances as well. And what I saw on that day, there was no division in the crowd. Everybody was just enjoying each other's company. We all danced together. There were people high-fiving each other, and that's what I'd like to see the whole city doing, because I see I do see the division between Indigenous and non-Indigenous, but I do see it getting smaller. But we need to do it quicker, I think, because we need to understand that Aboriginal people are never going away, and they're the original people of the continent. And a lot of the people do understand, and a lot of our culture has been brought through. Well, none of our culture was lost, I believe. I know a lot of our places were lost or developed, but I don't believe any of our culture was lost. It was survived in whispers because of our ancestors and our uncles and aunts and grandparents. So it really is refreshing for me to understand that our culture is alive and people want to know about it. So, and we're in Dubbo. If Dubbo is the place where my mob are from, and we always were, and I'll just give a bit of an explanation. The word Dubbo comes from the word Tubba. This is Tubba-Gar country. Tubba-Gar means red ochre, people. Gar means people. So if you're living in the country, you're Tubba-Gar as well. So I wanted to give that little bit of information because the town of Dubbo is actually named after our mob. So I don't know what else to say, but I feel like I got my message across, and I hope I didn't offend anybody, because I get on with everybody. So thank you, and I hope you have a really great day. Don't forget the shops. I haven't got a shop there, but I understand what it's like to set up and wait for someone to look at your stuff and then pack it all up and go, didn't sell anything, and I'm going to go and buy some stuff. So I'm going to look after them. Thank you.
Now we'll move on to the Australia Day Awards for 2023. This ceremony is about recognising the talents and achievements of people in our local community. The Australia Day Award Committee had the task of selecting recipients for each category. It's a tremendous honour not only to receive an Australia Day Award, but also to be nominated. I'm going to call up two councillors to present each award and then the recipient, and if they could all walk up to the front, and I'll read a short blurb about their achievements. So I'd like to call up Councillor Mann and Councillor Wells to present the first award, which is the Cultural Person of the Year Award, and congratulations to Tony Wheatland. Tony, if you could come forward. When Tony first joined the band in 1995, the band was a brass band and he had to get special permission to play his saxophone as it was a woodwind instrument. In 2008, the band amalgamated with the Macquarie Wind Ensemble and became the Dubbo District Concert Band. Tony always encourages other musicians in the community. He's a wonderful example of joining in community cultural activities and learning new skills. Tony has been warden at Holy Trinity Anglican Church since 2003. He is a telephone counsellor for Lifeline and a grief counsellor for the National Association for Loss and Grief. Tony's tireless dedication to the Dubbo cultural scene, along with other various volunteers roles, have had an impact on his peers, and hence this award. Congratulations on the 2023 Cultural Person of the Year Award, Tony.
Thank you so much, everybody. I wasn't surprised when I got this award. I was absolutely, utterly amazed. As far as my playing ability is concerned, well, if there were 4 baritone saxes over in that band, I'd be playing 4th barry. Thank you so much.
I'd like to call on Councillors Black and Councillor Etheridge to present the next award, which is the Services to Sport Award, and congratulations to Cameron Porteous. Please come forward, Cameron. Cameron has dedicated 18 years volunteering to Dubbo Athletics Club. He joined Dubbo Athletics Club Committee when his daughter was 4 years old and continues today as a Masters athlete member. Cameron has held several committee roles for the past 18 years. He also helps with operations and administration with the seniors competition. He's currently an active volunteer for both junior and senior club competitions, and when Dubbo hosts regional and state championships, Cameron is always there to set up early and pack up late, as his commitment is just that true. His hard work has not gone unnoticed by the committee, and as such, this award. So congratulations on the 2023 Services to Sport Award, Cameron. Would you like to say something?
Yes, I'd just like to thank the council for the award. It was a bit of a surprise getting the phone call, and so I'd like to congratulate them, and also for their support of the athletics over the years. I'd also like to thank the Dubbo Athletics Committee for nominating me. Thanks Rose and Sarah, I can see down the back. Yes, thank you.
The next award today is the Young Sportsperson of the Year award, and unfortunately the recipient is unable to be here as he is away competing. I'd like to extend congratulations to Jack Devison. He is the winner of the Young Sportsperson Award. Some of Jack's achievements include the following. In 2022, Jack was selected in the Australian team to compete at the World Junior Motocross Championships in Finland, where he finished in 23rd position in the world in the under-18s 85cc class. Jack was also selected in the 2022 New South Wales team to compete at the Australian Junior Motocross Championships in Rockhampton, where he finished second. He also finished third in the Australian Arena Cross Championships in the 12 to 16 years 85cc expert class, and won the 12 to 14 years. Jack was selected to race for the Husqvarna Australian Junior Motocross Racing Team in 2022 and has also signed to race with them in 2023. Not only is Jack one of the top motocross riders in Australia, he is a respectable young man who does well at school and is a role model for his peers. Congratulations will be forwarded to Jack. I'd like to call on Councillors Chowdhury and Councillor Wright to present the next award, which is Sportsperson of the Year award. This goes to Emily Williams. Congratulations. Emily juggles a busy career as a first responder and maintains her training and passion for cycling. She's a quiet, kind team member who has had inspirational success at state and national level in both track and road disciplines. Winning the first gold for the Dubbo Cycle Club, Emily's medal haul for 2022 is well deserved for the talent and hard work she puts in and for her love of cycling. During the national and state track championships, Emily rode with her two fellow Dubbo Cycle Club members to win the bronze and gold medals respectively in the team sprint events. Emily's achievements also include a bronze medal at the 2022 Masters Women's Road National Championships, 4 gold medals at the 2022 Elite Masters Women's State New South Wales Track Championships, 5 gold and 1 bronze at the 2022 Masters Women's National Track Championships. Congratulations, Emily, on Sportsperson of the Year for 2023. I'd like to call on Councillor Burns and the Australia Day Ambassador, David Hall, to present the next award, which is the Senior Citizen of the Year award. This award goes to Brian Goodlett. Congratulations, Brian. Could you come forward? Brian has spent his adult life dedicated to community service. He served on a committee tasked with launching a parent-controlled school. He provided secretarial support and liaised with legal advisors about the school setup. Dubbo Christian School was launched, and in 2023 the school will celebrate its 40th anniversary. In 2009, Brian joined the Management Committee of the Western New South Wales Legal Centre, a not-for-profit organisation providing free legal advice to people doing it tough. Brian has played an instrumental role in growing his community organisations. His commitment to social justice is evidenced by his hours and volunteer labour. Brian is also one of the founding coordinators of the Rediscovery for Men, a group aimed at helping men rediscover hope, purpose and friendship after retirement. Through sharing life stories, social activities and listening to inspiring guest speakers, Rediscovery for Men continues to have a positive impact on lives, and what started in 2015 as a 3 to 4 week experiment is still going strong. Congratulations, Brian, on the award of 2023 Senior Citizen of the Year.
Oh, well, it's a great privilege to have been nominated and to receive this award, and I find it a real pleasure and a privilege to serve in the community the best way I can, and I continue and will continue to do so. Thank you.
I'd like to call on the Mayor and the Australia Day Ambassador David Hall to present the final award today. This award is the Citizen of the Year award, and it goes to Peter Hargraves. Congratulations, Peter. Please come forward. Peter has an amazing sense of common humanity and compassion, which is continually giving to others, spending many days per week as a volunteer driver for the New South Wales Cancer Council. Peter will drive up to 200 kilometres one way to pick up patients, and regardless of how late treatments are or what is happening in his own life, he waits patiently for them to complete their treatment and then drives them home again. He has become a familiar face in the waiting room at the Western Cancer Centre, as he's always bringing patients in for treatment when they can't bring themselves due to illness, financial distress or social disadvantage. Peter always goes above and beyond. For many years, Peter would sell raffle tickets at pubs in the community and using those funds to assist people in need. Peter's volunteer work is a true reflection of the great gentleman he is, and he is very deserving of the 2023 Citizen of the Year award. Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you. First of all, thank you very, very much for this award. It's something that I feel quite honoured to receive. It was quite a surprise when I received a phone call to let me know that I had received this award. But I would like to also mention that one of the organisations that I am involved with, as was mentioned, is the Cancer Council, and a drive of the Cancer Council. And I would also like to say that apart from myself, there's about 18 other drivers here in Dubbo that provide exactly the same service that I do. And I think the real heroes are the people, our patients, that we bring in for treatment and take home, and the people that man the Cancer Centre here in Dubbo, which is amazing. And I think those people truly deserve this award as much as I do. Thank you very, very much.
Just before we move on, I'd like to make a special mention of Peter Ryan, who is here playing in the band today. Could you stand up, Peter, please? This morning, Peter has received an Australian Fire Service Medal from the Governor-General. This medal is also known as ASFM, and it's a very prestigious award to receive. Please join me in congratulating Peter with a round of applause. I now call on the Dubbo Regional Council Mayor, Matthew Dickerson, to conduct our citizenship ceremony for today.
Thank you, Abby. And it is one of the great pleasures and also the great frustrations that I have as Mayor to actually sit on the Australia Day Award Committee. And we've got some of our committee members over here, and they would share the joy and frustration with me, because it's very exciting when you read through the nominations that we receive for the awards, but it's also very frustrating that you can't give out awards to everyone because all those nominations are so worthy. So it is a very special congratulations to those award winners, because it is always a difficult job and always lots of debate around the committee to actually get to those final award winners. Now we get to a very exciting part of Australia Day, the award winners, that's exciting, and hearing the addresses. But one of the things that I think makes an Australia Day ceremony very special is when we get to have people join us as citizens of this nation. And one of the things that I think is very special about that is that of all the countries in the world, 193 countries or thereabouts across the world, people choose to leave their country and go somewhere else. And out of all those countries, they choose Australia. So that's pretty exciting, and that makes me pretty proud as an Australian. But then, out of 7.6 million square kilometres across this wonderful nation, they choose Dubbo. And I think that's even more exciting. And so everyone in this audience can be very proud of the fact that these people had the choice of anywhere to go in this nation, but they chose this location to come along and be part of our wonderful community. So that's very exciting, and I get a bit of a buzz out of that, and hopefully people do get a buzz out of it as well. So we've got 3 processes we'll go through. I do have to read a preamble, which is part of the process, the formal process to make people citizens, and then we'll get some of the people forward to actually confer citizenship on them, and then I'm sure we'll have a bit of a buzz around the crowd. So this is a message from the Minister for Immigration, Citizenship, Migrant Services and Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable Andrew Giles MP, and this has to be read out as part of it. Thank you for deciding to become an Australian citizen. Today, you join a nation that is one of the world's most successful multicultural societies, with around half of all Australians either born overseas or with at least one parent born overseas. In Australia, everyone can be proud of who they are, and everyone should be respected, valued, and feel a sense of belonging. We are privileged to share this beautiful country with the world's oldest continuing culture. This is a fundamental part of who we are. For more than 60,000 years, First Nations peoples have cared for country. Appreciating and understanding this truth is a vital part of what it means to be Australian. Australians are united by our shared commitment to democracy and the rule of law, and to freedom of speech, religion and association. Our diversity is our greatest strength, and we prosper by embracing this. We believe in a society in which everyone is equal, regardless of their gender, faith, sexual orientation, age, ability, race, national or ethnic origin. Ours is a land of the fair go, in which respect and compassion underpin our care for each other and our willingness to reach out to those around us in times of need. By becoming an Australian citizen, you make a commitment to these values and to contribute to our evolving Australian story. On behalf of the Australian Government, heartfelt congratulations on becoming an Australian citizen. As I said, the Honourable Andrew Giles MP. I would like to read out the following preamble as per Schedule 1 of the Australian Citizenship Regulations 2007. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia. And Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic rights, and by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. Enough of the formalities, let's get some of these people forward and welcome them to our nation. Could I please have our new citizens that have got numbers 1 to 17 to come forward? Okay, so we've got our first 17 new citizens here. From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Can we please give 17 new citizens a big round of applause? Well done, congratulations. Now we've got certificates to hand out, and I'll just get some of my fellow councillors to come forward because we've got some gift bags with some very important things in there. You've got Vegemite in there, so you've got to make sure you have some Vegemite so you know what it tastes like, which I'm sure you have. Some various presents, some various Dubbo paraphernalia, and Sonia's got the certificates to hand out to you as well. If you take your seat, thank you, congratulations. If I can now get numbers 18 to 34 to come forward and do the same thing, start from number 18 here. And it's an interesting process we're doing them over 3 lots to fit everyone in, but it's pretty exciting to have 49 people joining us as citizens today, which is a fantastic number of people joining us. So that's a really exciting thing and makes it obviously significant that we've got that many people that want to be here with us. Repeat after me. From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Once again, a big round of applause for our new Aussie citizens. Thank you. So please stay there, and I'm just going to get some former councillors and councillors to come and hand out some gift bags and certificates. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So if I can get you to sit down, please, for the third group. And again, the cheer for the next one will be even louder. And if I can ask the people numbered 35 to 49 to come forward with pledge 2, please. Again, 35 starting up this end here and then going across. From this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Okay, an even bigger round of applause for the last group there, please. And now that we've got 49 new citizens, I've got to give them one final test before citizenship is finally confirmed. So no one else in the audience, please, only the 49 new citizens. I just want to make sure we get the right response from this. So when you're at a sporting event and you hear someone yell out this, I want to make sure we get the right response. So when you hear, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oh, look, they're citizens. Okay, fantastic. So if I can just get, again, some former councillors and Dougal, our MP. Okay, congratulations, thank you. You can resume your seats now. Well done. And I do encourage the rest of the audience, one of the things that I love to do when we do our normal citizenship ceremonies, we don't have as many people normally doing them throughout the year, but I love to go and talk to the people afterwards and just find out where they came from, what brought them here. Normally they say what a great council we've got in this area. That's one of the main drivers for here, but there's other reasons as well, apparently. And so you just find out a bit of that history, and they've all got interesting stories to tell. So I'd encourage people in the audience to go and seek out one of the new citizens and just ask them their story. And normally they're very happy to tell their story. Thank you to Abby for being our MC. Abby filled or took over today. Susan, who has done this job for the last 13 years, got Australia Day off for the first time in 13 years. So congratulations to Abby for being our MC. Thank you very much. Well done. And congratulations to all of our staff. Obviously, this doesn't take 5 minutes to organise. Even the citizenship process, there's a lot of work in that. So we've got some great members of our team. People like Sonia and Susan and Lisa have all done some fantastic work in there. And our green space staff have done a fantastic job. The park looks magnificent here, and it's a great spot. We've managed to keep most people mostly in the shade throughout the morning. Also, a big thank you to fellow councillors for coming along, but also just other people that are here in our official area, having former councillors, current councillors together. It's great to have that shared experience, having our local MP Dougal here, former MP John Mason. It's great to see the number of people here, and come and seek some of these people out afterwards as well. I'm sure they're all happy to have a chat to you about whatever you want to talk to them about. So it's great to see those people come along as well. So thank you very much. Thank you for attending in such great numbers. Congratulations to all those new citizens. Congratulations congratulations to our award winners. And that concludes Australia Day 2023. If I can just ask those award winners to come forward to do the cake cutting. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Have a wonderful year. Thank you very much.